Welcome to Enlightenment Unknown, Life of a Spiritual Nomad. Join Reiki Master and Quantum Healing expert Wes Coons as he guides listeners through the depths of self-discovery and spiritual enlightenment to uncover the version of you we haven't met yet. Hello and welcome back to Enlightenment Unknown, Life of a Spiritual Nomad. Wesley Coons, what have you been up to?
Andrea, I have no idea. I have no idea what I've been up to.
Well, we just finished the rebirthing ceremony.
Yep, we did. And sitting there today, and I'm like, we didn't even talk about the priest coming to the house yet. So that's going to have to be season 3. So that's going to be a little out of order. But, it's kind of been out of order anyway. So
yeah, once in a while.
Yeah, it's whatever felt right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's what she said.
You're stupid.
So, do you want to mention, we were just talking a little bit ago offline about how many countries?
Oh, dude, we're at least in 18 that shows on the podcast. Then a couple of the other places. I mean, really, if you counted everything, the videos on YouTube and things of that nature, we're probably in like 41 different countries easy.
And we love it. We love that you guys are listening, and we would love if you would drop us a line. Tell us where you're from.
Yeah, and the number one country outside of the United States listening to us is Russia.
I love it.
Yeah, Russia's killing it. Japan's right there. I see we got Sweden now. We've got Cambodia, some other places. I'm like, that's cool. Costa Rica, yeah. So that's kind of fun.
A lot of cool places.
So, I mean, my brother used to tell me to shut the fuck up all the time. And look at that. People are actually wanting to hear my voice now. See, Dennis? You're wrong, boy.
Look at me now, Dennis.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, so it's interesting. The podcast is getting out there. We're getting some growth. We were just on Shane's program, and I keep forgetting the name of his program. He's got 2 or 3, though.
He does have 2 or 3, but the one that we were most recently on was Inquiries of reality. Yeah, he just finished like 300 episodes, something like that. 298 episodes. That's cool. Really, you guys, it's not just strictly paranormal stuff. Shane does a lot of really cool guests, and like he was talking about that doctor he had on, talking about schizophrenia. I thought that was really cool. So check him out. He's really cool.
Yep. So he's very interesting, super nice guy. And he's going to have us on one of his other podcasts here sometime in December, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we record on December 17th. And then I know we're going to be on Dr. Phil in January.
Yes, and Oprah is coming out of retirement to have us.
Yes, they don't know it yet, but that's happening.
Yeah, They're very excited in a different realm right now.
I didn't know she was in retirement.
I mean, Oprah's not on anymore.
I never watched that shit anyway, so. But good for her, man. I mean, the things that she did and accomplished in her life, that's cool.
We love you, Oprah.
It. Yeah, Oprah's cool, man. I ain't got no beef with her. She's a badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are doing season finale, right?
Yes, and I cannot believe how quickly season 2 went by.
Mm-hmm.
Right? How has it been for you?
How fast does it go by when somebody's peeling the skin off of you? I mean, it's like just a moment in the sand, it's no big deal.
It just flies by.
Yeah, it was great. I'm glad it was easy for you guys.
Yeah, easy for me.
Yeah. Well, we're getting ready for season 3, which is going to be a video podcast. So we're kind of working out the details and all that. And what's that song? Video killed the radio star.
Yes.
Yeah.
A face made for radio.
Yeah, I might be in trouble. We'll see. But looking forward to that, doing something different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Season 2, we promised a lot of great things, a lot of surprises, and I feel like we really delivered.
Yeah. Abigail has her own Instagram page now. The Bougie German Shepherd. I may change that a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. But right now it's the Bougie German Shepherd.
So go follow it.
Yeah.
See Abby.
You see Abby riding in the Maserati at the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I took her to the beach this morning, and I let her off the leash, and she goes and chases all the birds, and then she comes right back and sits so I can put the leash on her. She's a good girl.
That's cute.
Yeah. Today was the first day she's been able to run since she had surgery. So she is like a what they call it, Velociraptor or whatever, the fucking dinosaur.
Velociraptor,
yeah. One of those caged up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's ready to be free, that's for sure.
She is.
Yeah. So, season finale of season 2, we're asking questions. So, what questions do we have?
All right, so just FYI, we're going to do a deep dive.
Yes, we are. Mm-hmm.
Right? And that, don't let Wes make you think that, like, oh, poor Wes, like he didn't know. He knew. He wanted to do the deep dive, didn't you?
Yeah, it was my idea. I'm like, if we're going to do it, instead of asking, what's your favorite color, why don't we ask like a real question?
Yeah, so we're going to go deep into some of these questions. So, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay.
I'm always ready.
Question number 1. Okay, so Wes, we just wrapped season 2. How has this season changed you?
Season 2, from the beginning of the podcast, I have not gone back and healed any of that stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't want to go back and think about it. And when the podcast started, I did not comprehend how hard it was going to be.
Yeah.
So going back, and we ended up re-recording episode 1 just because I felt it was too heavy. It was just too much. And so I think we have the same output, if that's what you want to call it, but it's just not as heavy. So, you know, I like it. I like how we did episode 1. Season 2 was nice because it was, for me, even though there were some pretty harsh parts, you know, it was me moving. It was moving the energy. It was me moving forward. You know, it was me you take that hill, then you take that next hill, then you take that next hill, mentality of moving forward. And I think near the end, I was getting tired. So we did the rebirthing ceremony, and we've skipped at least one big part. I have to look at my notes because, I mean, hell, there's a lot of things that we skipped. But we're at the rebirthing ceremony. I just needed to get there. But the problem with the rebirthing ceremony, it didn't fix it. There was still stuff that had to have happen, which you guys have to wait till season 3.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. So that'll be fun. So I don't know. Did that answer the question? I think it changed me. It gave me the opportunity to continue to heal some things, and it gave me that forward movement. And I feel better. I'm glad I've done the show.
I'm glad to hear that. And after we recorded, it was in season 2, we recorded the first exorcism. I know we took a couple weeks off.
Yeah.
Because that was very tough. That was from my observation, that was one of the toughest episodes for you. So I'm glad to hear you say that you feel like you're moving forward and that you're glad you're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can promise you we're not going to re-record the entire program.
Oh, can you? Can you promise that?
I can fucking promise you that. We're not going to do that. And I think when we were talking to Shane, when we were on his show, we went through the part where there was the fog in the house, right?
Right.
And, you know, he thought that was it. That's the end. I was like, dude, that's day 1.
Yeah.
That's day 1. And it got crazier and deeper and more painful and more terrifying. That was day 1.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't like to use the word triggered. I think it's so overused. But this podcast is freaking triggered me, man. The last few months has been very, very difficult for me. So I'm looking forward to season 3, and it'll be fun.
I am too. I'm looking forward to season 3 and beyond. There's so much. I mean, we've talked offline about where it's going to progress, and I'm really excited for where it's going.
Yeah. Season 4, we're going to talk about executing goats and chickens.
Yeah. Chicken.
Make Chick-fil-A.
Okay, so my next question you actually touched on a little bit just now. So we talked a lot about season 1, episode 1, and particularly how emotional that has been to relive this. And we're wrapping up season 2. And my question was, has it gotten easier? But from based on what you just said, I feel like slightly easier.
Not really.
Really?
Yeah. I think I've gotten more comfortable being on the podcast. I think the bulk of the heaviness and the pain we've gone through. So I guess, yeah, it's kind of gotten easier because talking about some of the worst days of your life, and there's like a lot of those.
Yeah.
There was just so many in that 9 months. And, but when we started the show, I said, it's going to be raw and it's going to be real, and they're going to get 98% of it. There's some things that I'm just not going to share. So when we do finish the haunted house part and all that stuff, and we start going into me learning who I'm going to be and starting to be a healer, it's going to be cool.
Yeah. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, that's going to be good. I'm looking forward to that.
I am too. I am too. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. And as someone who has been along for the ride with you, Wes, what a lot of you don't hear, because we have to cut it out, is that we stop a lot, we pause a lot, because this is very emotional for Wes. And for him to share on this level is really pretty courageous and amazing. And I just want to thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And do you feel like this has been healing for you at all?
Yeah, I do. One of the things I did just yesterday, besides yesterday being the 1-year anniversary of losing Kennedy, I was encouraged by a friend, Ariel. She'll be on the show, maybe season 3, season 4. She's a therapist. She's a friend of mine. She's a Reiki master. Very gifted young lady. And she said, Wes, you never went back and talked to that version of you that was in that house that had been touched. And in my mind, I could see that little boy there in that room. And I did that yesterday. And, what that process looks like is, you go back to that trauma because that piece of you is there. So that little boy is standing in the room, right? And so I went back and talked to him, and it's shocking how the other version of you, that younger version of you, will actually communicate back with you quite clearly. So it wasn't a meditation. It wasn't this big thing. I closed my eyes because I could see that little boy in that room. I've seen him there for 40 years. And I helped him get dressed. And I picked him up and I took him home and gave him a bath. And, we talked, and I told him, I said, what do you need? And he said he wanted to be held, and I held him. And I asked him what he wanted to do, and he said he wanted to watch Battlestar Galactica with me. So I said, we can do that. And I told him, I said, you don't have to be afraid anymore because I'm going to be here. I'm going to be your friend. And nobody's going to pick on you. Nobody's going to hurt you. And would you like that? And he said, oh, yeah. I like that. And so then I put him, he got in his, I think his Superman pajamas with the little footies cut out. And we watched Battlestar Galactica. And then I went and I put him in his bed. And I told him I loved him, and he said he loved me. And just that simple process healed so much. I don't see that little boy in that room anymore. that's healed. That piece of me has been brought home. So if you're battling something of that nature or something, anything like that, you can go back in time in your mind and go see yourself and have a conversation and ask yourself, what do you need? And tell that version of you that, hey, I love you and I'm here and I'm a grown-ass man. I'm a grown-ass adult. Ain't nobody going to be pushing us around no more. Ain't nobody going to be messing with you. And, you know, and save that person of you, that version of you. Mm-hmm. It changes things at a deep level.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Well, no, thank you for sharing that, Wes. And I think that's a useful tool for people. And you don't need anything fancy. You don't need to be in a meditation. You can just...
Yeah, because that was one thing she reminded me. She's like, dude, you haven't healed that.
Yeah.
Because I kept struggling. I'm struggling. I can't move past this one part. She's like, you haven't fucking done that, dude. And if I'm going to do the show, I'm going to be honest and I'm going to be real and I'm going to talk about what I got going on.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of why should we do the show if I'm going to bullshit you?
Yeah.
You know?
And we appreciate it. And I can attest to the fact that Wes is indeed a grown-ass man. Like...
I am a grown-ass man.
As I stand here today.
Yeah. So I don't know if that answered your question, but that's what I did yesterday.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what my question was.
I don't fucking remember the question is.
All right, but are you ready for the next one? That's the real question. All right, so you've gone through exorcisms, more than one, which I think most people wouldn't even want to go through on, spiritual battles, deep healing processes. What moment from season 2 stands out to you the most and why?
I mean, that's a big question, right? Because there were so many things going on. So I'm going to pick 2.
Okay.
You know, the first one would be the darkest one. That night in the hotel. When that thing crawled inside me. I mean, that's the thing that nightmares are made of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever be able to tell that story without just my body crawling from it. But the positive side of it was driving up that driveway with my friends in the truck, going to do that rebirthing ceremony. I mean, the energy of that ride up there, just everything. If you've ever been on Lakota's Mountain, it's a pretty rough road going up there, and then being in a big truck, it just beats you up a little bit. But we were just dead silence. Like Ty said, it's for the Army, it's like going to chow hall and not having a fork. Marines go to combat, they go to chow hall without a fork. It's the same thing for them. They break down and cry over that. So, but it's like going into that combat. I was going into that life or death. For me, it was life or death. I knew if this didn't work, I would be dead. And I had my A-team with me.
Yeah.
And I had my A-team at the bottom of the mountain waiting. And just the love and the beauty, and it was all based off of hope. It's my second favorite 4-letter word. And I think love might be the first one. I don't know. What could that first one fucking be? I don't know.
What could it fucking be?
I don't know. But there was so much beauty in that. And at the end of the day, it was irrelevant if I lived or died. I didn't quit. Mm-hmm. I didn't stop. And the devil was not going to beat me.
Yeah.
So, fuck you, devil. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like that. And just, I know this is this is one man's individual journey, but just like what you said, like you did not stop. I mean, that's something we can all take away, right? Because in our hardest battles, we can look back and see that we survived them.
One of the things I've struggled since then, since it was over, is learning how to live life again. We've talked about this. Yeah. I feel like I've existed. And then, if I look backwards at the things that I've accomplished, I'm a published author. I've got this, we're doing this podcast. We've got all these things that were accomplished. But the reality is I felt like I barely even scratched the surface of what I am capable of doing. Yeah. And that's what we're breaking into now, trying to figure, who am I? That is the biggest thing that I'm working to overcome now is, who is Wesley Kuntz? What am I supposed to be? I've got all these opportunities and I'm not capitalizing on them. Why is that? What is that? And how do we fix it? The shockingly good looking part's already there, but.
Right, check, that's done.
Check. So I don't even know what the question is that you're asking now, but.
You're like, I got stuck at shockingly good looking.
Yeah, there's that. I'm like, and humble. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's that.
So, what is the most unexpected lesson or insight you gained during season 2 that you were not anticipating?
I think that is because at the time I was going through it, I didn't fully appreciate what we were just talking about, the amount of love and compassion that these strangers provided for me. I recognized that some going through the process years ago, but what Linda and Kathleen has done, Linda's like a mom to me. Kathleen is wonderful. She's like a sister to me. And Lakota and that whole group and Dee and Ty and all these people went significantly out of their way for a total stranger. Yeah. And during that process, people are like, oh, this isn't real. These people are making money off of you. They're manipulating you. I'm like, I would agree with you if you can explain to me what the picture is in my phone of what is that in my house, and nobody charged me a penny.
Yeah.
Right?
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I had to pay for the sweat lodges because everybody did. And I had to pay for the rebirthing ceremony. But all the people showing up, all the other stuff, all the trips to the mountain, all the conversations, all the stuff, there was no charge for that. Yeah. All the things Sandra Grace showed up, Linda and Kathleen, 40, 50, 60, 100 hours worth of work. Mm-hmm. That was out of love. So that's a beautiful thing.
It really is.
And I work hard to pay that forward. Especially when I see demons. Mm-hmm. I kind of do enjoy helping them go see Jesus. I mean, it's a Christian thing to do. Let me help you out, pal. There's that. Yeah. I'm the best ordained minister ever.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
All right, so the events of the haunted house, everything that went on, this is roughly 5 years ago, right?
Yes.
Okay, and we see that it still affects you emotionally as you retell everything. Mm-hmm. But how is it still affecting you in your day-to-day, or is it?
Yeah, it does.
Does it?
Yeah. There's not a day that I don't pull into my office in Kempsville and think about that haunted house, because we talked about the Underground Railroad that goes under that building, right? Yeah. And I think the Battle of Kempsville was right there, and then the house on the corner that's been there since like 1812 or something like that, and the graveyard and all those things. There's not a day that goes by that every single time I pull into that street or that parking lot, for one brief moment, I remember what happened to me. Yeah. I think it was 6 months ago. Remember, we were at the office. I think you were with me. Is when I was doing some of that painting, mm-hmm. and there was a demon or something moving around in the woods across the. Yeah. Remember? Mm-hmm. I mean, that freaked me out. I'm like, I don't necessarily get scared from that anymore. Yeah. But that, I was scared. Yeah. You know, it took me back. So, you know, driving down Independence, past that old neighborhood. I'm not going in that neighborhood again. I'm just not going to do it. And, you know, the other day, somebody reached out and asked me something about that house and the address. And it wasn't about this. It was something else. I forget why he was asking. Oh, he's asking about the swimming pool and stuff. And he wanted to go on Google Maps and look at what it looked like and stuff. And that was hard for me to... I'd forgotten the address, so I had to look it up for him, and that messed with me. So, yeah, it messes with me all the time. Yeah. So.
I'm glad I could bring that up for you.
Yeah, thanks.
So, all right, we've covered that. What are you most excited or apprehensive about going into the next chapter of your journey?
I'm excited to be leaving the house, the stuff that went on. I'm looking forward to talking about my journey, taking my Reiki courses and how Jesus came in and did things and I learned things and how I've been a part of Jesus flowing through me to heal people and watching these miracles all the time. Mm. I mean, when people say miracles aren't real, motherfucker, I've seen 400 or 500 of them. Yeah. Easy. And, I mean, perfect example. What's today? I don't know what today is. This weekend, I had a friend in the hospital in Florida, and I was speaking to his wife. And as she's talking about him, I said, let me ask, does it feel like somebody's sitting on his chest? Which is an easy, you know, they're in the hospital, so it's an easy thing to say, right? And she said, yeah. I said, not anymore. Because the second she started talking about it, I seen this demon sitting on his chest with his elbows on his knees, facing his face like that, just staring at him. I grabbed that motherfucker by the back of his neck and yanked him off so damn fast. Literally 22 minutes later, she texts me. She says, whatever that was on his chest isn't there anymore. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. I mean, that's a miracle in itself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I don't know how I do that work. I just do. Mm-hmm. And I do that all the time. I have people call me about that all the time. I do stuff like that probably 10 to 15 times a week. Yeah. Something's in somebody's house, something's on somebody or whatever. And it takes me about 3 or 4 seconds to do. So.
No, I've seen you do it. It's very quick.
Yeah.
Very quick. Mm-hmm. That in and of itself is a miracle.
Yeah. Now, if I get that thing to pop out the winning lottery number.
Let me know.
I know, right? Ain't going to be no hungry people around this place. We're going to be feeding everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. I always wanted to do a food truck where you just deliver food for free. Like you go down the street and like it's the ice cream truck, but it's like just free food for everyone. Okay, next question. If you could go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice before embarking on this podcast journey, what would it be?
One piece of advice. I think that piece of advice would be go heal that little boy and not wait. Yeah. Now, I know that doesn't have anything with the podcast, but that and it's about time that I started choosing myself and then choosing the people that choose me and stop allowing myself to be around people that don't give a fuck about me. That's what my advice would be.
That would be good advice.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting close to the end.
Oh, are we?
Yes.
Yeah, I was getting ready to let you cut off my left arm now.
Okay, so next up. What do you want listeners to take away from season 2 of the show in general? And what can they look forward to moving forward?
I want the listeners to take away that it's easy to look at, oh, this is a fun story. I mean, I think it's a fun story. If it didn't happen to me, I'd be interested in listening to it.
Right.
It's interesting. It's extraordinary. It's real. We've got pictures. We've got eyewitnesses. We've got everything. It's fucking real. But I think what I want them to take away is the upside of everything. My dog dying happened for a reason. She knew she had done her job and I was safe enough for her to go home. Yeah. Right? And then you look at this show, they're like, oh, well, how could this benefit you? I had to go through this process to learn. They couldn't show me that Jesus was real. I'd have been like, bullshit. I don't care how fluffy they would have made it. I'd have been like, whatever. But they had to show me that the demons were real, that the devil was real, for me to come to the realization that Jesus is real, right? Mm-hmm. So the beauty in the pain, and that the pain and the things that we go through is not our story, right?
Yeah.
It is not our story. It may be a sentence or a paragraph in the back of the book of Wes or Jessica or Jenny or Susie or Mike or Timmy or whomever. That is just a piece of who you are. It's not who you are. Right? I don't think I ever made the haunted house who I was. Mm-hmm. I made that raped little boy who I was. I mean, it's a valid story. It happened. It was horrible. It was traumatic. It was a lot. But it's not my story. My story is I'm beautiful, I am gifted, I am loved. Every step I take raises my vibration. Every breath I take heals my body. That's who I am. And having 40, 50 years of being told you're ugly, weak, and stupid is a fucking lie that I believed. Our feelings are lies. Let me explain. Your feelings are based off of past trauma. It's not real, right? Not ugly. I'm not weak. I'm not stupid. That trauma embedded in me, and I fucking believe the bullshit story. The real story is I'm intelligent. I am kind. I'm a nice person. I do for people. I've accomplished things. I'm putting my best foot forward nearly most days. I can't say it's every day, but because I'm human. But the reality is that feelings and emotions of sadness and weakness and unworthiness is not real. Neither's yours. We're here to be a beacon of light. We're here to heal from the experiences that we've come here to experience. Learn how to love the deepest, darkest part of ourselves and be that beacon of light and break the fucking chains of addiction, break the chains of abuse, break the chains of our past generations, because we have generational trauma inside our body. They have shown that you carry up to 12 generations of trauma from great-great-great-great-grandfather however many years ago. Whatever happened to that cat, that energy can still be with you 12 generations later. So it is incumbent upon us to stand up and say, enough is enough. The thoughts that I have aren't real. This is who I am, and there's ways to heal just like that. That's what I want them to take away from. That's what this podcast is about.
Yes, preach, Wesley.
Preach.
I love it.
Get my Bible out, damn it.
Yes.
But that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
That's who I am.
Yeah. I love it. Thank you. Mm-hmm. I love it. I love where that went. Thank you. Okay. All right. So we ended with the rebirthing ceremony. So that means you're good and everything's fixed, right?
No. No. We did the rebirthing ceremony, and we talked about that ceremony a lot. Mm-hmm. Can probably say I obsessed over it a little bit because it was my last shot, right? We didn't talk about yet the priest coming to the house. Mm-hmm. We're going to do that in season 3. We gone down all these avenues, and this was it. I wasn't told that we had to wait 21 days afterwards for it to finish. Ooh. And if you guys can hear that noise in the background, that's my German Shepherd losing her fucking brain. It must be a dog out front. She's crazy. But those 21 days were worse than everything.
Really?
It was the worst part. It was the worst part because I didn't know, because the event had happened. And then I'm told afterwards, oh, we'll see what it'll be 21 days before it's solidified. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I mean, I don't know, but if we've talked about it 77 times, just a thought, maybe, hey, after you're done, there's 21 days. But at the same time, I should have known that because I'd been to all these lodges, and she said there's a 21 days before the event is solidified, right? And that 21 days, one, I'm waiting to see what happens. And 2, they ramped it up. Mm. So they worked real hard to get me to take my own life. So it crawled on me worse than it did before. Things showed up worse than they did before. Shit was more fucked up than it was before. Yeah, it was fun.
Sounds like it. And you don't have to answer this now because I want to save a lot of this for season 3. So if you don't want to answer it, it's fine because that is a lot that we're going to unpack in season 3, right? Uh-huh. But why? Why the 21 days? Do you know? And like I said, you don't have to answer.
I think the 21 days, she said, the 21 days is a Trinity. The Father, Son, the Holy Ghost, 777, all these sacred numbers and all this stuff. It's something along the lines in there. I don't know. Maybe it was just because it was the intention of the healing that she did. Right. And part of that 21 days is for you to stay. So if you go to a sweat lodge, you're not supposed to talk about it for 21 days. And the reason being is if you come out of the lodge, say, oh my gosh, the dragon came to me, or Jesus came to me, or I had this epiphany on, who I'm supposed to be or something, then you start going and telling people, and then the naysayers are like, oh, that ain't real, that's bull. They start taking you down. Yeah. So that 21 days allows you to absorb that energy to become that person. Because doesn't it take 21 days to create a new habit? Yeah. So I don't think she Googled how long does it take to create a new habit, but that's what it is. But it's part of the Trinity, 777. And the 22nd day was fucked up.
Ooh, don't tell us. Like, leave that as a cliffhanger. Don't tell us.
The 23rd day was fucked up. The 24th day was fucked up. The 25th day was fucked up. No. Yeah. You're going to have to wait to hear about that.
Yeah, you're going to have to wait.
Yeah, it was a lot. So, so there's that.
All right, I have one last question.
One more.
Ready?
Yeah, okay.
Who is...
What's my favorite color? Oh, it's blue.
You don't know. He's colorblind. He don't know.
I'm not colorblind. I know. What are you talking about?
My last question is, I got to relook it up because that got away from me. Who is Wesley Coons as we stand here today? Right now.
That brought tears to my eyes, didn't it?
Yeah.
I am still figuring out who I am. But what I'm not is I'm not broken. I'm not weak. I'm not ugly, and I'm not stupid. I'm not a mistake. The person I was 5 years ago, I don't know who that person is anymore. I worked hard to become that person. I worked hard to grow my real estate company. I raised my family. We built homes and gave it to people that didn't have homes. We gave to the community. We did things for people. In society, we're very successful, and we have a good name and all these things, and we still have that. But the person I am today, I'm divinely guided. I don't know why I've been touched by the hand of God, but I've been touched by the hand of God. The healing work that I do is exceptional. And I am grateful for that. And that's not a marketing piece. That's just the fucking truth. Because Jesus flows through me today at such a high level. It is the most beautiful, most extraordinary thing when I work on somebody. I don't even know what's going on 9 times out of 10. I don't know what he's doing flowing through me. But, I worked on somebody today, and he's sending me these messages saying how so many things have changed in the last 2 hours. It's been 2 hours since I've seen him. And this young lady I worked on earlier today, she's like, I can't even explain what I feel right now. And the lady I worked on remotely yesterday let me know, she says, I don't know what has happened, but I don't feel like the same person anymore. I don't know how to explain that, but it's just beautiful. And not to be arrogant, and this is not an arrogant statement because I know it can be a smart ass sometimes, but that's just my everyday now.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And so the person today has a lot of healing still to do. And I am not perfect, and I make mistakes. And I've hurt some people still, not intentionally, but just stuff happens, right? But I make an amends, and I try to do the next best thing, and I try to show up over and over and over, and I do God's work. That's who Wes is today. Trying to figure out how to operate in this 3D world of real estate still, and yet I go to my job I'm supposed to be in, and I'm standing next to Jesus Christ, Archangel Michael, dragons, and stuff like that, and watch them come in and take lupus from my friend. And people get off the table that needed a cane before that don't need a cane. And people that have blood disorders don't have blood disorders. And people who had demons in them don't have demons. And people that have had these things haunt them for decades, and the doctors have said, this is who you are and what you are. Don't listen to that bullshit. There are fucking scientists who has to check a goddamn box. That motherfucker doesn't know. If the doctor goes in there and he checks everything out, can't figure it out, I guarantee you it's a spiritual issue. 100%, every single time. Those people that go to the doctor because the doctor is important. However, if he gives you a label, the C word, don't believe it. Don't adapt and say, oh, now I have cancer. No, you have some healing to do. You got some healing to do, brother. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Because when they diagnosed me with stage 1, I looked that doctor right in the face. I said, the fuck I do. You ain't putting that shit on me. He's like, oh, you're just in denial. I said, bet. If you want to watch a good movie, it's on Netflix. It's called Heal.
Oh, yeah.
It's like an hour and a half.
It's amazing. Watch it.
You got to watch it. It talks about we can heal ourselves.
Yes.
In the United States of America, the greatest country in the world, next to the greatest fighting force in the world, the United States Marine Corps.
Driven by the U.S.
right?
Navy.
Who? What? Uber?
What?
Yes. Uber? The drug companies run our country. Mm-hmm. The drug companies own the politicians. Let's be honest, they do. Our food has got poisons in it that they don't have in other countries. And I thought I'd never say that stuff, but I'm paying attention to that now, and it's true. Because in those other countries, the government pays for the health care. Here, they don't, so it's not government regulated, right? So a friend of mine, I forget, somebody's telling me the other day that when they spend, oh, it was my friend Allie, her and her family, they go to Europe, I guess, every year or something. She says, Wes, after about 2 weeks, I just feel so much better. The food is just healthier there. And that really shocked me. I was not expecting that. And she's somebody, she doesn't, she's not one of these whack job crazy people that run around and talk about weird stuff, but, like we talk about normal things.
Right, yeah.
But that just resonated with me. And I've been seeing these things on TikTok and stuff where they're holding these boxes of cereal, the same box of cereal, but one's from Europe and one's from here. Why does the one in Europe have 3 ingredients and ours has 17?
Yeah.
If that's not real. So we can heal ourselves. And when I went back to that doctor, my PSA went from almost 6 and I'm still at 1/4%. How do you explain that? Almost at 6, that's stage 1.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, I ain't fucking stage 1. You ain't putting that shit on me. I did not accept it.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you stick your head in the sand and ignore the doctor. You need to make your own decision. My decision was I'm going to do self-healing and I'm going to follow what my heart tells me. So make sure you follow what your heart tells you. So there's that.
There's that.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah. So is that all the questions?
That is all the questions, but you talking about all that healing, do you care if we mention real quick about what you have coming up?
November 11th at 6 p.m., we're going to do a virtual healing session.
Yes.
So you can go to our Instagram pages, Enlightenment_Unknown.
Yes.
VB Healer.
Mm-hmm.
What is yours?
An Abundant Universe.
No underscore?
And _abundant_universe.
What is?
I wanted to make it really complicated. So it's
what is that?
_abundant_universe. But the link tree on all of those Instagram pages.
Yes, goes right there. So you can sign up. And the cool thing is you don't even have to be on the Zoom call to get the healing.
Nope.
You need to sign up. We're going to bring your name in. So I'm going to open the energy. I'm going to bring in my team. We're going to put you on a golden platform, and the angels we're going to place, it's called an angel heart healing. So I'm going to place angels with every person there. Mm-hmm. There's going to be at least 3 per person. Most of my clients, probably 98% of them, when I work on them and place angels, they all say, I feel the angels touching me.
Yeah.
It's quite beautiful, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, when do you get to have an angel touch you? Unless I'm touching you.
Right, yes.
Yes, there's that.
There's that.
Yeah. And so we're going to place the angels there. We're going to cut the cords that are keeping you attached to the past. We're going to clear blocks so you can move forward. And then on New Year's.
Oh, I knew you were going there. I love it.
The New Year's one's going to be cool.
Yes.
So we're going to do a healing session. We've got 2 of them planned for New Year's, and one earlier in the day and one in the evening. And we are going to bring in abundance. We are going to break the chains that are keeping you back. So when you step into 2025, you're going to be a fucking freight train of love and joy, boy.
People always say New Year, New Me, but this will literally be New Year, New You.
That's right.
Literally, because you're going to change people on a very deep level.
Yeah. Yeah. Those healing sessions, I don't know why they're so powerful. They just are, and it's beautiful. And Lord, I am grateful. So thank you for that. I take the work serious, and I've been practicing, and I've got a friend in Arizona somewhere. So I'm like, hey, can I practice on you? She's like, yeah. And she texts me like 20 minutes later. She's like, holy shit, what were you doing? I was like, oh, did you feel that? She's like, holy crap. It's like almost like somebody just threw this bucket of water on me. The energy just hit that fast.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool.
Yeah. You guys, you do not want to miss it. So sign up for the 11/11/2024, right? 11/11.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Magical day. It's going to be a magical experience. And if you sign up for that one, or if you miss that one, be on the lookout for New Year's Eve, because like Wes said, there will be two, one earlier in the evening and one that will go about, we're thinking about 11 o'clock. And then we bring you right into New Year's Eve, New Year, New You.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen that video on TikTok or something about the little boy says New Year, New You? And he's like living in a trailer park.
Yes.
It's the funniest damn thing I've ever seen in my life. That little bastard's so cute with his little southern twang.
Yeah.
I love him. So, New Year, New You. It's going to be fantastic.
Yes.
And if you've not had a healing session from me, you're going to be in for a treat.
You are. Can I just tell my personal experience about my first healing with you?
When I pulled the demon out of your ass?
No, there's no demon in me. I'm so love and light.
Yeah.
But I had struggled with severe hip pain for 15 years.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. 15 years. And Wes was like, do you have any pain anywhere? And I was like, yeah, in my left hip, right? And...
Or is that your right hip or your left?
It's my left.
Okay, because you said right. And I just...
Did I? I don't know. Definitely my left hip. It was my left hip. But... You know, Wes did whatever Wes does, and this was now, 2 years ago.
Yeah, so basically you had an energetic knife in your hip.
Yeah.
I remember now. So I don't know why it appears as a knife is how I see it. You know, is it a real knife? No. But it looks like one, and I can reach up and grab it. And when I grab it, the funny thing is, you know, I can feel the density as if there was a handle to a blade there, and pull, and you can feel the release come out. It's pretty cool. It's interesting to see and experience.
And that was 2 years ago. I've not had hip pain since. And when I tell you it was chronic, it was 15 years of chronic hip pain that is just gone.
Yeah. Well, I told you the story. We talked about the story with the lady who had the shoulder and the elbow pain, right?
Yes.
Or the shoulder and the
hip pain.
Hip pain. You know, that showed a past life of her. It showed a past life where she got ran over by a train. Yeah. And so it showed me the past life. I worked on that, healed that past version of herself. And this version is like, oh my gosh, my pain went away. Yeah. I did that with a lady today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Remember the young lady? I told you I had a young lady come in earlier. And it showed a past life where some traumatic things had happened to her. And I healed that version. So I'm curious to see how she feels moving forward.
Yeah.
So
it's powerful. So sign up. You guys will love it.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Next episodes will be coming out soon. Yes. Video podcast.
Yes.
I'm excited.
You get to see our beautiful mugs.
I'm nervous about that, man. I don't know. I don't like having my picture taken and stuff. Now I'm going to be on this, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be real. I don't know if it's going to be real fun, but yeah.
So thank you for coming through season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Wes, thank you for sharing your story.
You're welcome. And one thing I do want to say is Eminem was wrong.
Why?
We do like techno.
Oh my God. I don't even know what that means.
Fuck, you got to listen to the song. He says nobody likes techno. Yeah. He's wrong, Eminem.
All right.
All right, Slim Shady. Bye.
You've been listening to Enlightenment Unknown with Wes Coons, your guide on the quest for self-discovery and the version of you we haven't met yet.